So now we also need to make update in the handle member function of DrawBox, which handles mouse events. And notice that we call create primitive, but create primitive now changed so that now it includes the call to basically the new parameter, which provides the label. So this was the reason why we pass this text to create primitive, so that it's capable of constructing a label box for the user. But this is also the reason why we have this pointer to input label, which is the gadget on the new gadget on our form. So regardless of the course of events, when we say let's call create primitive with all of these parameters, right? We're going to add yet one more parameter, which is simply going to this input label and asking what is the value. So the return of the value from the FL input widget is going to be a C string with the text. So we're going to capture it, and we're going to construct inside create primitive if this will be if the primitive type is going to be the text box, the new type of widget that we can give to the user. We will be using this value to construct the label and make it visible. So this is just new parameter, and it's trivial to populate after giving DrawBox direct access to the input label. So this is my choice for creation of the text label on the screen. Finally, we need to provide support for this new class, new type of drawing primitive, which also deriving from primitive base, like all previous gadgets we used before. So we're going to provide implementation for the constructor, for its drawing, and for update x2 and y2. So let's see. So the constructor should look pretty simple. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of the implementation file for our DrawBox and copy and paste this. This is what I prepared here. So primitive text gets constructed with this. With the label, and we construct primitive base with all the parameters and the color, but then we're also going to populate this text with whatever pointer we were given here. So of course text, when it's constructed, it's a string, so we capture this value and retain it inside primitive text. It has its own dedicated copy of the text, and it's a dynamic string, so it's extremely flexible and very, very safe. So constructor gets pointer to characters, and the characters are copied into the string, and the primitive text will have its own copy of text. Very safe to use in our system, hopefully. So then let's think about the possibility of the draw. So I'm thinking what we could use for the draw, which every primitive has to supply. It's a virtual function, so this is what I'm thinking. The same regular code to get the actual color that is being used inside the library. Then set the color, whatever color we have stored in our graphical primitive, and then specify the font. So I'm thinking that I'm going to use this Times New Roman font, which is very much popular, and it's okay to use. And I'll try the font size. So when you specify the font, you need to specify the font size and the type. And draw, FLDraw, there is an overloaded version of FLDraw which will display text at the specified location. And I'm using X1 and Y1 naturally for this location. And when we take content of our string stored in primitive text, we have to use CStir because FLDraw is expecting just a raw pointer just like this, and so we're extracting it from our string and giving it to FLDraw. So FLDraw not going to retain pointer to our text, it's just going to draw it and immediately forget the pointer that we gave it. So it's safe to use, and then we restore the original color, and hopefully this will make this text visible at this location. So the next function is to update X2 and Y2. So this is going to be just a boilerplate. I think we've used this version before. It's very much the same as other types, as this function in other types. This could possibly be moved to the base class, but for now I'm just going to keep it right here. So at this stage, I think we're done with the changes. So there were quite a few changes in CDrawBox.cpp after the plan outline in the header file right here. So let me try building this. And I'm getting some errors. And here I guess I need to qualify everything. So basically I need to specify constructor as a constructor inside this class to make this using declaration, and I think similar needs to take place here as well at the rectangle as well, right? So we need these two. Okay, so this is update. Let's try this again. A few more errors I'm getting. Okay, so apparently this file doesn't know what FL input is. So I'm guessing I just need to add an include. So another include that we need in our CDrawBox.h is just to make sure that we provide the type of FL input. So this is the power of header files. You just include necessary files and everything else should be taken care of. So this time it looks fine. I'm very tempted to try running this code, but unfortunately I don't think it will be safe to run it because of this update right here. Basically we need to make sure that our CDrawBox gets call to this function set input label. So let's quickly check the implementation of the main window and add calls to this this function to make sure that we make the actual proper setting of our CDrawBox.